Good morning everybody, welcome to this week's Tillers Turf Talk. Hope you're all keeping really well. So we're back at Springwood this morning and thankfully we've had a little bit of rain now. Temperatures have cooled down a little bit, so hopefully that's the sort of mini heat wave for the UK over for now. Not only will this bit of moisture help with the new seedling production, but it's also given us an opportunity to get cracking with some groundwork. So today we're going to look at something that we haven't looked at before, and that is ploughing. And you may just see the plough in the rear there. Now ploughing is something I'm not really from an agricultural background, so it's something that I'm quite new and keen to learn about today. So I don't know too much, like I say, but I know a person that does. That is Alan, our farm manager, who stood there just observing, checking everything's going fine. So we're going to have a word with him. We'll talk about the ploughing process, have a little look at the plough itself, and talk about what we're trying to achieve. Fabulous. So I'm joined by Alan, our farm manager, who's been here 27 years, Al?
Yeah, just about.
Yep, so you've got a little bit of experience with ploughing?
Yeah, a little bit. I've always worked in arable farming and 27 years in turf, so I've ploughed acres and acres and watched acres being ploughed, so yeah.
Yeah, well, it's quite new to me, Al, so I'm looking forward to learning a bit myself. So talk us a bit about what we've done to this particular field since the last harvest went out.
So we harvested this field late spring, and it was deemed too late to put a spring drill crop in because vulnerability to dry conditions, etc. So we looked at getting the field in the best condition for an early autumn drilling. So first job was to round up any residuals that were left on the field and kill everything off, little bits of turf that was left, weeds, etc., which we did, and then we spread on the clipping residues from the last crop, which gave it a little bit of green manure, a bit of feed. And conditions this year were very hard, so we decided to go in with a fairly deep tine cultivator to break the top up and allow the moisture just to get in and start to work on it. And then when we had the first sort of showers, which have been infrequent this year, we started to work on it and disc it, chop everything up, and after that we came in with a 4-leg flat lift, which then was a deep tine machine that took out any of the subsurface compactions and giving it the best chance for good drainage in the future. And then in May it was deemed the right time to put some mustard in as a cover crop, because I don't like to leave the fields bare over the summer because of the erosion to the soils. Plus it gives us a bit of green manure and a bit of stability in the soil. So here we are now with a crop of mustard that's got slightly bigger than we'd normally have it, as the weather conditions have made it bolt to seed quick, and the plant's maybe not quite as dense as it normally would be because of the dry season, but the plough's doing a good job, burying the majority of it and giving us a nice clean start to our next season's new drillings.
Fabulous, thanks Al. So let's go and take a closer look at the plough now, and we'll maybe have a look in a furrow. I think that's what they're called, isn't it?
It is, it's the
furrow. And I learned a little bit at college about ploughing. I know sort of a mould board what that is, but in terms of everything else, like I say, I'm keen to learn from Alan, and the contractor's doing this for us today. So let's nip and have a closer look, Al.
Yeah, this plough's a 5 furrow coon. It's a vary width. He's ploughing probably a good 9 inches, maybe a little bit more, to bury this mustard. It does a very good job with opening the furrows up slightly, gives it a wider furrow bottom to drop the trash into. It's in combination with a very heavy double press, which consolidates the soil and levels it, crushes the clods that the plough's bringing up from the dry season that we've had, and gives us a nice start to start and work on for our next crop.
So as the next pass of the plough commences to the bottom of the field, we're just going to take a quick look, a closer look down in the furrow, and Alan will speak a bit more about what we're achieving here. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and he'll point that out to us.
So here we are. So here we are in the furrow wall, in the furrow, and this is the furrow wall. And this is where the land side of the plough has been, and it leaves it nice, usually nice and smooth. Due to the dry conditions and the cultivations, we're getting a little bit of crumbling in, but that's not a problem. Nice wide furrow, plenty of room. The skimmers will come in, drop that material in, and then invert the soil. And that's what we're after, burying this crop as good as we can, as deep as we can, so it doesn't come.
As we can see, Al, from the right hand side of you, the finish.
Yeah, this is obviously due to the dry conditions, but there you can see the roots of the mustard. So even though it's only been in since May, it does show that, you know, this is going through the soil, holding it, stabilising it, putting a bit of nutrient back in the soil.
Let's go and have a look at the plough itself, then you can talk to us about some of the key components and what these things do. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. So we start at this end then, Al.
So yeah, we've got this 5 furrow coon plough, bury with plough. We start with the points, which the points give it the penetration for the depth, and then we've got the front shims here, which cuts the bottom of the furrow, the front throat, and the furrow and the plough breast, which that starts to curve the soil and invert and bury all the trash. The most important thing when burying the trash is the skimmer body, and this works just in front at a shallower depth, and it just skims all the debris off the top into the bottom of the furrow in front of the plough breast, and that gives you a good clean finish. So each one of these bodies is equipped with the same. We have the press arm here that picks up the press on its way past and hooks it up, and each time it turns over, it's on the right side of the machine.
Yep, so the mould boards across the top and the bottom then are obviously replicated, so he flips it over to go the other way.
Yeah, you've got your land side on the back here, which leaves you your straight wall on your furrow, which we looked at. Again, replicated down the plough. We've got a disc on the back furrows, which gives you a nice clean furrow wall and cuts any trash and leaves a nice clean there. And obviously the most important, we've got a depth wheel on the back that keeps the depth when what depth we want to plough, and that can be adjusted to whatever we want. But,
brilliant. Well, that's the plough explained. So let's have a quick look at the press and see what its sort of function is in this operation.
So here we have the heavy duty NRH press, double heavy cast rings, very heavy press, heavily built, followed by a flexi coil packer at the back, which just gives it that little bit neater finish. This is the arm that picks up on the plough each time, so the arm comes past, hooks it up, pulls it across,
and away it goes.
Away we go again.
Yep, so the purpose of these, Alan, is to sort of break up the clods.
Break up the clods, consolidate, which starts the whole process of cultivating, because we need to consolidate the ground for the seedbed, and it traps the moisture in, and the moisture starts to work its way up from the bottom in the soil, and if it rains it keeps the moisture in, so that's why we do it.
So you're happy with how it's going then, Al?
Yeah, I think it's making a good job in the circumstances. As I say, it's got a little bit taller and seedier than we like it, but as I say, due to the conditions, but it's making a great job and gives us a great start to our new crops going forward.
Yeah, like I say, a little bit of moisture in the ground would just help tidy that wall up a little bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, and we would have ploughed differently, but we've got to move the job on, and hopefully we'll get some rain on this at the weekend. It'll start the process off.
Yeah, like I say, nothing we do about the weather. We just have to work with what we've got and make the best of it. So, Al, thanks for that little insight into ploughing. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I have. I now know a lot more than I did half an hour ago. So thanks for that, Al. So we close the video here by thanking everybody who's for watching as always. Please continue to help share the channel by retweeting, sharing, etc. Consider subscribing to Tillers Turf TV on YouTube if you haven't already. All your views are much appreciated and mean an awful lot to myself and the company. So in the meantime, have a fabulous weekend. Take care everybody, and we'll see you next week. Cheers for now.
Bye for now.